Hello and welcome back if you're back on the channel, and thanks for dropping by again. So I thought I'd do a piece on what you need to actually record. So if you're recording an acoustic guitar, what kit do you need to actually do that? Well, I'm in the makeshift studio, which is a shed which I've converted into a studio. But there's some fundamentals that you need to ensure that you get a good recording. So I thought I'd just do a quick overview of what my kit is, which might help you when you're doing your recording. First thing you need, of course, if you've got a laptop, you'll need a door. Let's just flick this back on. So there's all sorts of doors on the market. Some of them are expensive, some of them are relatively inexpensive, but they all work in a similar sort of way. So the door is where your input signal goes, so that you can see what your recording levels are and you can edit your recording in there. And they've got all sorts of effects. One of the ones that I use, and I've used a number in the past, but one I'm using at the moment, you can get free. It's free issue. It's called Cakewalk by BandLab. It's an exceptional door. It's really good. Works on a laptop. I've got a PC laptop sat in the corner. One day I will get myself a Mac and get with it, but at the moment I'm running with a PC laptop. Works really well on a PC laptop. Not sure it works on a Mac. Didn't check that out. Anyway, the door itself is really good. You've got to join BandLab to download Cakewalk, but it's really worth doing. Joining BandLab's free. It's full of lots of other people who are musicians and all different genres who you can collaborate with on any piece of music that you're working on, and they'll add a bass riff, or they'll add a drum beat, or they'll add an electric guitar. They'll do whatever you want, and you just kind of work with each other. It's a really good platform to get involved with. Now, I'm not sponsored by Cakewalk or BandLab or anybody else when I go through this. I just use Cakewalk because it's a really good door to use. So that's the first thing you need. Then you need an audio interface to get from your guitar into the door on your computer. And there's a couple of types on this. First one I bought was a Scarlett Focusrite Scarlett 212. Really good, reasonably priced, great little bit of kit. You've got gain on it. You can see when it peaks out because it flashes red. You want to make sure that you don't gain out, you don't peak out when you're recording. And it also works with a condenser microphone as well as dynamic microphones. So this was the first one that I got. Really good, great bit of kit. Would recommend anybody to get one of those, and I still use it. So it's a really good piece of equipment. There's other things you can do as well. I've actually invested in a Zoom H8 recorder, which is a phenomenal piece of kit. And the reason why I invested in that is you can take it on location with you. It's a portable recorder. You can also use it as an interface into your computer. It's a bit more expensive, but worth the expense if you're prepared to pay that. So those are your two doors, and you patch them straight, your two interfaces that I use, and you patch them straight into your laptop so you can get the signal straight in. So if, like me, you've got an electroacoustic guitar, you can plug it in at the bottom and you can do a direct signal from your guitar straight in. But with all electroacoustic guitars, you don't quite get the sound of the guitar as you hear it yourself. So you end up playing around with it in Cakewalk or Ableton Live or whatever it is you're using. So I use a couple of other things. I use a dynamic microphone, which is like this. Not very expensive, reasonable price dynamic microphone, pointed at the 12th fret on the guitar, and it's got really what they call a low floor level, so you don't get much interference from the mic at all. So as well as having my guitar plugged in, I've got a dynamic microphone pointed at the 12th fret. I've also recently invested in a condenser microphone, and this is the TZ Stellar X2, which is a superb, absolutely superb microphone. Really good condenser, so it needs 48 volt input into it to ensure that it works. Be careful with it though, you need a closed room when you're doing it because it picks up all the ambient noise that's going on around you. Now sometimes you want that and sometimes you won't. If you don't want that, be very careful where you use a condenser microphone. Could you use it when you're out on the streets busking? unlikely it's going to pick up all the noise from the whole of the street. So you're better off using the direct input straight into your amplifier from your guitar. So that's the kit that I've got. I'll list them down underneath, which hopefully will help you. Do you need any special area to record in? Well, you need somewhere that's reasonably quiet, first of all, because these microphones are really quite sensitive. Apart from that, no, not really. You might want to look at the acoustics in the room. I'm currently in the process of repurposing an old garden shed, which I'm sat in at the moment, which is going to become a little bit of a recording studio. Now all the kids have moved out, got their own houses, they've got a bit of space. But it'll need a bit of work. There'll need to be a bit of sound dampening that I'll need to do, and just a bit of work to get the acoustics right in the room. Why are acoustics of a room important? Well, you get all sorts of bounce back from the sound of your guitar or the sound of your voice if you're singing, bouncing off hard structures and reverberating around the room, and you want to minimize those the best you can. But you can get sound attenuation blankets which you can hang on walls. You can get the panels that you put on the walls which will kill some of the noise. But at this stage, this is all I'm using as my setup. So we've got direct input out of the guitar, we've got a dynamic microphone pointing at the 12th fret, and we've got a condenser microphone which is just picking up the sound of the guitar. And it's all about positioning then, and it's a bit of trial and error that you need to get the positioning right. So the condenser microphone I tend to push back a bit so it's further into the room. I've just brought it into shot now so you can see that I'm using one. Push it a little bit further back into the room. The dynamic microphone closer to the guitar. I'll do a sound test just to show you, and we'll come back to that in a minute. There you go, quick sound test for you. Just shows you all the different facets of dynamic microphoning, condenser microphone, and the direct input from the guitar. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you'll stop by again soon, and I hope it's been of useful for you. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye bye.